take a slow, deep breath and let your body settle into the surface beneath you. We begin our journey tonight not in the cold of outer space, but in the warm, fragrant universe of a single scent carried on the air. This universe belongs to lavender. You may know it as a single plant, a single color, but it is a vast and ancient family. The genus Lavandula is a sprawling stellar cluster containing 47 distinct, known species of flowering plants, each a world unto itself, scattered across the earth. For our journey tonight, we will focus on just one of these worlds, the one most celebrated for its gift of tranquility, Lavandula angustifolia, often called English lavender. Imagine you are holding a single, perfect sprig. You roll it between your fingers, and an invisible nebula is released into the air. This cloud is not a simple essence. It is an intricate cosmos of chemistry. Scientists have discovered that the essential oil of lavender is a complex mixture of over 100 different phytochemicals, 100 different kinds of stardust, each with a role to play. But in this bustling molecular city, two titans govern the laws of calm. The first is a molecule named linalool. The second, its partner, is called linalool acetate. Consider this tiny, invisible world. In a drop of high-quality lavender oil, linalool, the primary agent of calm, typically makes up between 20 and 45% of the total volume. It is the bright, central star of this system. Its partner, linalool acetate, is a softer, gentler presence, often comprising 30 to 55% of the oil. This molecule is an ester, and it is responsible for the gentle, fruity, and sweet undertones of the scent, like the soft glow of a distant galaxy. Together, they create the signature fragrance that has been cherished for millennia. Let's follow the journey of a single one of these molecules, a single particle of linalool, as it drifts on the air. You don't need to do anything but breathe. As you inhale, this particle begins its remarkable voyage. The calming effect we feel is not magic. It is a precise and elegant dance of physics and biology, and it is primarily a journey of inhalation. A fascinating 2017 study published in the journal Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience demonstrated this beautifully. Researchers exposed mice to the vapor of linalool. The results were profound. The mice showed significantly less anxiety, moving with a calm confidence that mirrored the effects of powerful anti-anxiety medications. But here is the crucial difference. Unlike those drugs, the linalool produced no drowsiness or impairment of movement. The calm was pure, without the fog. This is the first secret of lavender's power. Its primary pathway to your mind is through the air you breathe. The linalool molecule, now inside your nasal passage, is on a collision course with your nervous system. It lands on the soft, damp tissue of your olfactory epithelium, a small patch of tissue deep inside the nose, densely packed with millions of specialized neurons. It is here that the physical world of scent is translated into the electrical language of the brain. The signal, the very essence of that scent, travels from these receptors in your nose to the brain's olfactory bulb in approximately 500 milliseconds, half a second. Faster than a conscious thought, the universe of lavender has already arrived in your mind. And consider where that signal goes next. The olfactory bulb, your brain's main station for processing smell, has direct physical superhighways to two of the most ancient and powerful parts of your brain, the amygdala and the hippocampus. This is a critical anatomical fact. These are not roundabout connections, they are direct lines. The amygdala is your brain's center for emotion and your primary sentinel for fear and anxiety. The hippocampus is the grand architect of memory and learning. This is why a single scent can instantly transport you back decades, or why the smell of lavender can begin to quiet your anxious mind before you are even consciously aware of it. The scent doesn't need to ask for permission. It has a key to the front door of your emotional core. As this signal arrives, the linalool molecule begins its true work, acting as a celestial mechanic on the intricate machinery of your neurons. Its primary target is a structure known as the GABA-A receptor. Think of your brain as a symphony, with some instruments playing loud, excitatory notes and others playing soft, inhibitory notes. The neurotransmitter GABA is the conductor of the quiet section. It tells your neurons to calm down, to fire less frequently, The linalool molecule doesn't shout, it whispers. It finds the GABA-A receptor and gently modulates it, making it more receptive to GABA's calming influence. Remarkably, this is the very same receptor system targeted by powerful prescription benzodiazepines like Valium, but lavender's touch is different. It is subtler, more refined. Linalool does not bind to the receptor in the same forceful way. It enhances your body's own natural calming processes, encouraging peace rather than commanding it. But that is not its only action. While it is amplifying the calm, it is also actively turning down the volume on the noise. Linalool has been shown to inhibit the activity of another key player in your brain, glutamate. If GABA is the sound of quiet, glutamate is the sound of action, the primary excitatory neurotransmitter. Linalool gently blocks some of the docking stations for glutamate, specifically the NMDA receptors. It's like placing sound-dampening panels in a noisy room. The frantic, excitatory signals find it harder to get through. The result is a dual effect. The whispers of calm are amplified, and the shouts of stress are muted. And you can feel this in your body, this shift from activity to rest. It is not just in your head, the calm radiates outward. A study involving 20 healthy volunteers demonstrated that simply inhaling lavender oil led to a significant decrease in blood pressure, a slowing of the heart rate, and even a measurable drop in skin temperature, all classic signs of the body shifting from the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system to the rest and digest parasympathetic state. The universe within you is downshifting, its frantic spin slowing to a graceful orbital ballet. This knowledge is not new. It is ancient wisdom now being confirmed by modern science. The human relationship with lavender stretches back at least 2,500 years. The very name, lavender, is a clue, derived from the Latin verb lavare, which means to wash. The Romans, masters of engineering and hygiene, used it to scent their baths, their clothes, and the very air in their homes, intuitively understanding its cleansing and calming properties. Long before them, the ancient Egyptians recognized its power, incorporating it into the sacred and complex process of mummification, preserving the body with an essence they knew to be powerful and pure. This ancient power extends directly to the world of sleep. In 2015, researchers explored this connection with a simple, elegant study. They took 79 college students who reported having sleep problems, a common complaint in a world of stress and screens. They gave one group adhesive patches scented with pure lavender oil to place on their chests at night. The control group received blank patches. The results were clear. The students who slept in the gentle, invisible cloud of lavender reported significantly better sleep quality. More than that, they reported feeling more vibrant and refreshed upon waking. They hadn't just slept longer, they had slept deeper. Other research confirms this, suggesting that the scent of lavender can increase the percentage of time you spend in deep, slow-wave sleep, the most physically restorative and mentally restful phase of the night. As you lie here, breathing gently, you are participating in this ancient and scientifically validated ritual. You are allowing these tiny molecules, born in the sun-drenched, stony soils of the Mediterranean where Lavandula angustifolia first evolved, to perform their work. You are allowing the purple pigments in its flowers, pigments called anthocyanins, the same ones that give blueberries their deep color, to be a symbol of the deep calm descending upon you. Even its ability to soothe pain is now being understood. In a 2012 study that seems almost unbelievable, patients recovering from open-heart surgery who received aromatherapy with lavender oil had a reduced need for powerful opioid painkillers. The calming scent, traveling that direct pathway to the emotional centers of the brain, helped to modulate their experience of pain, offering comfort that went beyond mere chemistry. It offered a sense of peace. So just allow the air around you to be your medium, your ocean. Each breath is an invitation, drawing in this quiet, intelligent calm. There is nothing for you to force, nothing to figure out. You are simply allowing the elegant physics of scent and the profound biology of your own nervous system to align, finding a rhythm as old as the hills where this plant first grew, and as precise as the molecular dance happening in the quiet universe within you. Let the scent be an anchor, grounding you in this present moment of peace. And with each gentle breath, you continue this quiet conversation with an ancient botanical world. We have explored the immediate chemistry of calm, the invisible messengers traveling from a flower to your mind. Now, let us drift backward on the currents of time to witness how humanity has slowly, carefully come to understand this profound gift. Our journey is not just through the space of your own mind, but through the deep time of human history. Let's turn back the clock 2 millennia. Picture the stone-paved roads of the Roman Empire stretching across Europe. A Roman legionary, far from home, tends to a cut. It is a known fact that Roman soldiers carried lavender in their personal kits, using it to cleanse wounds and prevent infection. They knew its power, even if they could not name the molecules. They were interacting with the very same compounds, linalool and linalool acetate, that we now know possess significant antimicrobial properties. They were the first large-scale users, introducing lavender to England around the 1st century AD, planting a seed of calm that would flourish for centuries. Now, allow the scene to dissolve and reform. The stone roads fade into the quiet, walled gardens of a medieval monastery. It is the 12th century. Here, a Benedictine abbess, a remarkable woman named Hildegard of Bingen, born in the year 1098, meticulously documents the uses of the plants in her care. In her seminal text, Physica, she writes of lavender's power to soothe a troubled soul and to clear the head. Centuries before Charlemagne's decree in his Capitulaire de Villis, which organized monastic life down to the herbs they must cultivate, these quiet communities were the keepers of botanical knowledge, the silent librarians of nature's pharmacy. Within these walls, lavender was not just a scent, it was a medicine, a shield. You may have heard the legend of the Four Thieves' Vinegar, a tale born from the terror of the Great Plagues that swept through Europe in the 1340s. The story tells of a group of thieves who robbed the dead and dying but never fell ill themselves. When finally caught, they traded the secret to their immunity for their lives, a potent vinegar infused with herbs, and lavender was almost always a key ingredient. While the tale may be folklore, it points to a deep, intuitive trust in the plant's protective, cleansing properties during humanity's darkest hours. The centuries continue their slow, steady turn. We arrive in Tudor England at the court of Queen Elizabeth I. The Queen, who reigned from 1558 to 1603, was known to suffer from debilitating migraines. Her chosen remedy was a lavender conserve, and she insisted on having fresh lavender flowers in her chambers every day. She sipped a lavender tea to calm her royal nerves, an early and powerful endorsement of its anxiolytic or anxiety-reducing effects. Let us now travel across the English Channel to the sun-baked hills of Provence in the south of France. It is the 16th century, and the town of Grasse is famous for its leather tanneries. To counter the unpleasant smell of the tanning process, the leather glove makers began scenting their wares with the fragrant lavender that grew wild all around them. The scented gloves became a sensation, and soon the fields of Grasse were no longer wild, but meticulously cultivated. The town's destiny shifted from leather to perfume, a legacy that continues to this day. It is here, in the pursuit of perfume, that humanity perfected the art of capturing lavender's soul, the process of steam distillation. Imagine this process as a gentle, controlled weather system. Great copper stills are filled with hundreds of pounds of lavender flowers. It is a known agricultural measure that it takes approximately 150 pounds of these delicate blossoms to yield just 1 pound of pure essential oil. Steam, heated to precisely 100 degrees Celsius, the boiling point of water, is forced through the plant material. This hot vapor is the perfect vehicle. It is gentle enough not to burn the delicate flowers, yet hot enough to rupture the tiny, luminous oil sacs on their surface. These sacs, called glandular trichomes, are like microscopic jewels clustered on the flower's calyx, each one a repository of potent chemicals. The steam, now carrying a precious cargo of volatile oil molecules, rises. It travels through a coiled tube, the condenser, which is cooled by circulating cold water. Here, the weather changes. The hot steam condenses back into a liquid, a mixture of water and oil. This fragrant liquid flows into a separator. A beautiful moment of physics occurs. The essential oil is lighter, less dense than water. It naturally floats to the top, forming a shimmering pale yellow layer. This is the essence, the concentrated spirit of the plant. The water below, now infused with the water-soluble components of the plant, is not discarded. It becomes the hydrosol, or lavender water, a gentler but still beneficial product. This entire process, a rhythmic cycle of heating and cooling, is a testament to our ability to work with nature, to coax its secrets into the light. This understanding of lavender's components has only deepened. While linalool and linalool acetate are the dominant compounds, they are not alone. There are other important molecules in that aromatic cloud, like ocimane and caryophyllene, which modern studies have shown possess significant anti-inflammatory effects. This explains why lavender can soothe not just the mind, but also irritated skin. It is a symphony, not a solo. The specific composition gives each lavender species its unique personality. The calming Lavandula angustifolia we have been exploring contains very little camphor, typically less than 1%. But its cousin, spike lavender, or Lavandula latifolia, can contain up to 20% camphor. This high camphor content gives it a sharper, more medicinal scent, making it better for clearing the respiratory system than for deep relaxation. It is a subtle but critical distinction. Our modern relationship with this plant was profoundly shaped by a single, dramatic event. In 1910, a French chemist named René Maurice Gattefossé was working in his family's perfumery laboratory. A sudden explosion left him with a severe, rapidly developing burn on his hand. In a moment of desperation, he plunged his hand into the nearest vat of cool liquid, which happened to be pure lavender essential oil. He was astonished. The pain subsided almost immediately, and the burn healed remarkably quickly, with no infection and minimal scarring. This personal, powerful experience set him on a new path. He spent the rest of his life studying the therapeutic properties of essential oils, and in 1937 he published a book in which he coined the term we still use today, aromatherapy. So, as you rest here, feel the weight of this history. You are not just smelling a pleasant scent. You are connecting to Roman soldiers, to medieval monks, to Elizabethan queens, and to the founding fathers of modern aromatherapy. You are the latest participant in a story stretching back over 2,500 years, a story of humanity's slow, deepening realization that in the heart of this simple purple flower lies a universe of profound and gentle calm. Each breath is a quiet acknowledgement of this long and beautiful journey. This quiet story, carried on the air to you, is one humanity has been learning to read for millennia. We have traced its path through history. Now, let us shift our perspective from the timeline of human discovery to the plant's own silent, sun-drenched existence. Why does this humble shrub go to the trouble of creating such a complex molecular universe? The answer, as with so much in nature, is a beautiful and efficient story of survival. To understand this, picture the lavender plant not as a passive source of perfume, but as a sovereign chemical factory, constantly working to navigate its world. The linalool and linalool acetate it produces are not made for us. They are tools. For instance, linalool is a remarkably effective insect repellent. It is a defense mechanism, a chemical shield that deters pests like aphids and certain types of moths from feeding on its delicate tissues. The plant is, in essence, broadcasting a message: do not eat me. It is a form of silent molecular warfare waged in the stillness of a sunlit field. But at the very same time, that same molecule, linalool, serves as a powerful attractant for essential allies. For pollinators like bees and butterflies, the scent is not a warning, but a beacon. It is an invitation, a fragrant signpost pointing the way to a source of nectar. The plant has evolved a single compound that serves a dual purpose. It repels threats and attracts partners. This is the profound efficiency of evolution, a chemical language with the power to say both go away and come closer, all depending on who is listening. This entire class of compounds, these fragrant messages, are known to science as terpenes. Linalool is a specific type called a monoterpene alcohol, a relatively small, lightweight molecule, which is why it becomes airborne so easily. The plant manufactures it for its own reasons and we, through the happy accident of our shared biology, are able to perceive and benefit from it. Now, let us travel back inside the human body, but with a new comparison in mind. We have spoken of how lavender's scent can quiet the mind. What's happening at the biochemical level is analogous to a dimmer switch for your body's stress response. Your primary stress hormone, a chemical called cortisol, is produced by your adrenal glands. Imagine cortisol as the bright, harsh overhead light of a busy office, useful for emergencies, but exhausting to live under. A 2007 study published in the International Journal of Neuroscience found that students exposed to the aroma of lavender before an exam showed a significant decrease in salivary cortisol levels. They were calmer, less physiologically stressed. The lavender wasn't removing the exam, but it was turning down that harsh overhead light, allowing for a calmer, more focused state. It was working as a biological dimmer switch, softening the glare of anxiety. The quality of this dimmer switch is not uniform. The specific chemical profile of a lavender plant is profoundly influenced by its environment, a concept wine enthusiasts call terroir. A lavender plant is a living record of its home. For instance, to be certified with the prestigious AOP, or Appellation d'Origine Protégée, for lavender oil of Haute Provence, the plants must be of the Lavandula angustifolia species, and they must be cultivated at an altitude of at least 800 meters or over 2,600 feet. Why this strict rule? Because the environmental stress of high altitude, the cooler nights, the more intense ultraviolet light from the sun causes the plant to produce a higher concentration of the calming ester, linalool acetate. The plant is adapting to its difficult home, and in doing so, it creates an oil that is measurably more soothing. It also requires the soil to be well drained and alkaline, and to receive at least 6 to 8 hours of full sunlight per day. Each of these factors leaves its fingerprint on the final chemical composition. But there is another path for these molecules to take, a different journey into the body's inner cosmos. While inhalation is the most direct route to the brain's emotional centers, lavender's calming compounds can also be taken orally. In Germany, a specific lavender oil preparation, standardized and sold under the name Silexan, has been approved as a treatment for anxiety. This preparation consists of a single 80 milligram capsule of distilled Lavandula angustifolia oil. What is truly remarkable is that when taken this way, it works through a completely different mechanism than when inhaled. Instead of modulating the GABA receptors, Silexan has been shown to reduce the excitability of neurons by modulating structures called voltage-gated calcium channels. Imagine a neuron is a tiny room with many doors. For the neuron to become excited and fire a signal, a rush of calcium ions must flood through these doors. Silexan acts like a gentle gatekeeper, partially closing some of the doors. It doesn't lock them, but it reduces the overall influx of calcium. The effect, demonstrated in a 2010 study in the journal CNS Drugs, is a reduction in the release of excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate. The room becomes quieter not because a calming sound is introduced, but because the volume of the excited shouting is turned down at its source. It's a different strategy, but it leads to the same destination, a state of calm. Let us pause for a moment to appreciate the scale of these interactions. A single molecule of linalool has a physical size of roughly 1 nanometer. To put that in perspective, the wavelength of deep violet light, the very edge of what our eyes can see, is about 400 nanometers. This means the agent of our calm is more than 400 times smaller than a particle of light. It is an emissary from an invisible world, operating on a scale far below our direct perception. And think of its speed. The signal from a stubbed toe must travel the entire length of your leg's sciatic nerve, a journey that can take a noticeable fraction of a second. But the olfactory signal, that cloud of lavender molecules translated into a neural impulse, has a private express lane. It bypasses the brain's main switchboard, the thalamus, and arrives at the doorstep of your emotional core in about half a second. It is one of the fastest and most primal of all our senses. So, as you continue to rest, you are a quiet observer of this multi-layered reality. You are experiencing the legacy of a plant's evolutionary strategy, the result of its dialogue with sun, soil, and altitude. You are benefiting from a cascade of events, from a dimmer switch on your stress hormones to a gatekeeper on your neural pathways. All of this is happening now, a silent, elegant, and deeply calming dance of chemistry and biology unfolding with every gentle breath you take. The dance of chemistry and biology continues, a silent and intricate ballet unfolding within you. We have seen the individual steps, the molecular messengers, and their specific pathways. Now, let us pull our focus back to see not just the dancers, but the entire stage. Let us observe how these tiny actions create systemic harmony throughout the entire cosmos of your body. What is happening now is a gentle shift in your body's entire operating system. This system, your autonomic nervous system, or ANS, is the silent government that runs your inner world. It has two main branches, two opposing but essential forces. The first is the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight branch. It is the system of acceleration, of action, of preparing for a challenge. The second is the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest branch. It is the system of braking, of recovery, of deep restoration. In our modern world, the accelerator is often stuck down. The gift of lavender is that it helps you find the brake. At a systemic level, this shift can be measured. One of the most powerful indicators of your body's state of rest or stress is a metric called heart rate variability, or HRV. It may sound counterintuitive, but a healthy, relaxed heart does not beat like a metronome. It speeds up slightly as you inhale and slows down slightly as you exhale. A higher variability between these beats is a sign of a strong, adaptable, and well-rested nervous system. It shows that the parasympathetic brake is functioning beautifully. A 2012 study published in the Journal of the Medical Association of Thailand measured the effects of lavender oil inhalation on 31 healthy adults. The results were definitive. The subjects showed a significant increase in parasympathetic activity, evidenced by a measurable improvement in their heart rate variability. The scent was literally tuning their nervous system towards a state of greater balance and resilience. This journey towards balance has profound implications for the very architecture of your sleep. Let us now introduce a new, magnificent process that happens almost exclusively while you rest. Imagine your brain not as a static object, but as a city that performs a deep, nightly cleaning. This is the work of the glymphatic system, a discovery so recent it has reshaped our understanding of sleep's purpose. It was first described in detail by a team of researchers led by Maiken Nedergaard at the University of Rochester in 2012. Here is what this system does. During the deepest phases of non-REM sleep, your brain's glial cells, the supporting cast of your neural network, appear to shrink. In fact, the space between your neurons can increase by as much as 60%. This opens up channels, and a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid, or CSF, flows through these newly widened canals. It is like a cosmic tide washing through the streets of the city. This tide performs a vital function. It is a process of flushing cellular debris, carrying away the metabolic byproducts that have accumulated during the day's waking activity. One of the key byproducts it clears is a protein called beta amyloid, which has been famously linked to neurological conditions when it is allowed to build up. The connection to our story is one of beautiful, indirect support. As we have learned, studies confirm lavender's ability to increase the time spent in deep, slow-wave sleep. This is precisely the state where the glymphatic system is most active. By promoting the conditions necessary for this deep sleep by quieting the mind, lowering cortisol, and shifting the nervous system into a parasympathetic state, lavender helps to open the floodgates for this nightly neural cleansing. It does not command the process, but it creates the perfect, peaceful environment for your brain to perform its most essential maintenance, preparing the neural pathways for a new day. But the conversation between lavender and your body is not limited to your breath or your brain. There is another vast sensory organ we must consider: your skin. Your skin is not just a barrier, it is a dynamic interface with the world, studded with a vast network of receptors. When lavender oil is applied topically, perhaps in a lotion or a bath, a new set of interactions begin. The linalool and other terpenes are small enough to be absorbed through the skin, entering the bloodstream on a slower, more sustained journey. More than that, they communicate directly with your peripheral nervous system. Your skin contains a family of receptors called transient receptor potential channels, or TRP channels. For example, the TRPV3 channel is involved in sensing warmth. Linalool has been shown to interact with these channels, producing a gentle, soothing sensation that is not just psychological, but physiological. A 2009 study in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry detailed how linalool interacts with these and other receptors, modulating the sensation of both temperature and pain directly at the skin level. This is why a lavender-scented massage can feel so profoundly comforting. It is a three-part harmony. The aroma calms the mind, the physical touch soothes the muscles, and the molecules themselves are having a direct, quiet conversation with the nerve endings in your skin. And this conversation extends to beauty and healing. Its well-documented antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties are why lavender has been a key ingredient in skincare for centuries. A 2016 study on wound healing found that topical application of lavender oil accelerated the formation of new tissue and increased collagen production. The plant's chemical messengers were actively encouraging the body's own restorative processes. So you can feel how all these systems are interconnected. The scent quiets the nervous system, which improves heart rate variability. A quieter nervous system allows for deeper sleep. Deeper sleep activates the brain's cleaning crew, and the molecules themselves can provide direct, soothing communication through the skin. It is all one story. The plant is a master of promoting equilibrium, a state known to science as homeostasis. It gently nudges the body's complex, interconnected systems away from the noise and chaos of stress and toward a state of graceful, resilient balance. Allow yourself to feel this quiet rebalancing, this gentle return to your body's natural state of peace. The gentle rebalancing continues, a quiet alignment of your inner world with the rhythms of rest. We have journeyed through the systems of your body, but now let us allow our awareness to travel back out, returning to the source of this calm, the living plant itself. Let us explore the world from its perspective, a world of sun, stone, and silent chemistry. Imagine a single lavender plant, rooted in dry, alkaline soil. Its very form is a testament to its environment. Notice, in your mind's eye, its stem. If you could feel it, you would find it is not round, but square. This is a defining characteristic of the entire Lamiaceae family, the mint family, a botanical clan to which lavender belongs. This architectural detail is a genetic signature, a family crest shared with peppermint, sage, and basil. The leaves are a soft, silvery green. This color is not just paint, it is an ingenious adaptation. The surface of each leaf is covered in a downy coat of tiny, star-shaped hairs called non-glandular trichomes. These hairs serve a dual purpose, acting as both a parasol and a blanket. They scatter and reflect the harsh rays of the Mediterranean sun, reducing the temperature of the leaf surface. Simultaneously, they trap a thin layer of air, creating a humid microclimate that dramatically reduces water loss through evaporation. The plant wears a silver coat to survive the summer heat. Beneath the surface, the root system tells another story. Lavender does not have a deep taproot searching for hidden reservoirs. Instead, it has a shallow, fibrous network of roots that spreads wide. This structure makes it exceptionally good at capturing surface moisture from a brief rainfall, but also makes it vulnerable to waterlogged soil. It wants a quick drink, not a long bath. This is why well-drained, sandy, or gravelly soil is an absolute requirement for a healthy lavender plant, which typically lives for 10 to 15 years. Now, let us turn our attention to the bloom, the very reason for our journey. A single mature lavender plant is a bustling floral metropolis, capable of producing between 3,000 and 4,000 individual flowers in a single season. Each flower is a marvel of tiny engineering. The purple part we see is the corolla, but the real treasure is held within the base, in a tube-like structure called the calyx. It is on the surface of this calyx that we find the highest concentration of those luminous oil sacs, the glandular trichomes. The purple color itself is created by a specific class of pigments called anthocyanins, with the primary pigment being a molecule named delphinidin. The exact shade of purple can be influenced by the pH of the soil, a subtle conversation between the plant and the earth. The harvest of this treasure is a matter of precise timing. For the highest quality essential oil, farmers do not wait for every flower to open. The ideal moment to harvest is when approximately 50 to 75% of the flower buds on the spike have blossomed. It is at this specific point in its life cycle that the plant has produced the optimal balance of linalool and, especially, linalool acetate, the ester of deep calm. Harvest too early and the yield is low. Harvest too late and the chemical profile shifts, becoming less fragrant and less potent. And here, we must make an important distinction, for not all lavender is the same. The Lavandula angustifolia we have been exploring is a parent to a robust and vigorous hybrid. This hybrid, a cross between English lavender and the more camphoraceous spike lavender, Lavandula latifolia, is called lavandine, or Lavandula ex intermedia. This is a sterile hybrid, a mule of the plant world, which means it cannot reproduce by seed. But it is prized for one reason: yield. A single acre of true English lavender might yield 20 to 25 pounds of essential oil. That same acre, planted with lavandin, can produce over 200 pounds of oil, a tenfold increase. But this abundance comes with a trade-off. The oil of lavandin contains significantly more camphor and a compound called 1,8-cineol, often as much as 6 to 12%. This gives it a sharper, more medicinal, and less subtly calming aroma. It is excellent for cleaning products, but for the quiet work of sleep, the gentler, lower-yielding parent is supreme. Let us now introduce a new metaphor for how we perceive this gift. Think of the scent not as a single note, but as a complex musical chord. Your olfactory system is not just a simple detector. It is a sophisticated instrument capable of recognizing patterns. When you inhale the scent of true lavender, your brain is not just registering linalool and linalool acetate. It is recognizing the precise, harmonious ratio of these two main components, along with dozens of other minor players, the earthy, woody bass notes of caryophyllene, the faint floral hints of geraniol, the whisper of ocimane. It is the entire symphony, the specific scent chord, that the brain decodes as calm. This is why a synthetic lavender fragrance, which might only contain one or two of these molecules, can feel so flat and incomplete. It is like hearing a single note from a piano instead of the rich, resonant chord. The complexity is the message. The keepers of this fragrant symphony know that it is fragile. Once the oil has been carefully steam distilled, it faces a new enemy: light. The complex organic molecules, particularly the delicate esters like linalool acetate, are vulnerable to degradation by ultraviolet radiation. Exposure to sunlight can break them down, altering the scent and diminishing the therapeutic properties. This is a fundamental law of photochemistry, and it is why true, high-quality essential oil is never sold in a clear bottle. It is always protected in dark, amber, or cobalt blue glass, a final act of stewardship, preserving the integrity of the captured sunlight and soil, and keeping the scent cord perfectly in tune, ready to be released into the quiet air of your room. And so, our journey through the universe of a single scent reaches its quiet conclusion, not with an end, but with a gentle transition. We have traveled through the corridors of history, peered into the microscopic world of the neuron, and stood in the sun-drenched fields of a living plant. Now, we bring our awareness home, to the final and most profound process of all, the slow, graceful descent into the world of sleep. The observations are complete. The knowledge is now a part of you, a quiet hum beneath the surface. And as you rest, the final act of this botanical story begins to unfold. The first step in this process is the simple act of letting go of the day, a period that neurologists call sleep latency. A well-designed 2013 study found that the inhalation of lavender oil could reduce this period of waiting, helping the mind and body find the entry point to rest more easily. This is the first gift of the night, a shortening of the path to peace. The process of entering sleep is a gradual, tiered descent. You are now crossing the first threshold into stage 1 sleep, also known as N1. This is a fleeting, ephemeral state, a gentle drifting. On an electroencephalogram, or EEG, this stage is marked by the fading of the rhythmic alpha brainwaves that characterize a state of relaxed wakefulness, and the emergence of slower, lower frequency theta waves, which typically oscillate at a rate of 4 to 7 Hz. The linalool you have inhaled, having already calmed the emotional centers, now contributes to this quieting of the brain's electrical chatter. From there, you descend into the main body of sleep, stage 2, or N2. You will spend about half of your entire night in this stage. It is here that your brain begins to produce two remarkable phenomena. The first are sudden rapid bursts of higher frequency brain activity called sleep spindles. These spindles, lasting about a half second each, are thought to be the brain actively suppressing external stimuli, a neural gatekeeper working to protect your rest. The second are large, slow waves called K-complexes, which are believed to be involved in processing information and consolidating memory. A 2008 study in the International Journal of Psychophysiology observed that aromatherapy could subtly influence these EEG patterns, encouraging a more stable and protected sleep architecture. The lavender is not just a scent, it is an ally in your brain's effort to create a sanctuary of silence. And now, the descent continues into the deepest and most restorative part of the ocean of sleep. You are entering stage 3, N3 sleep, also known as slow wave sleep. Here, the brain's electrical rhythm slows dramatically, dominated by high amplitude, low frequency delta waves, oscillating at a rate below 4 Hz. This is the sleep of profound physical restoration. It is during this phase that your pituitary gland releases its largest pulse of human growth hormone, the master signal for cellular repair and tissue regeneration throughout your body. And it is this very stage that lavender seems to nurture so well. A 2011 study confirmed earlier findings, showing that lavender inhalation significantly increased the percentage of time spent in this deep, slow-wave sleep, especially in women. The calm it offers is not just mental, it is a deep, physical mending. All of this happens without your conscious awareness, and even the scent itself may fade from your perception. This is due to a natural process called olfactory fatigue. Your olfactory receptors, after continuous exposure to a scent for several minutes, will temporarily stop sending signals. But the neurological cascade, the calming of the nervous system, the modulation of the GABA receptors that process, once initiated, continues its silent, benevolent work. The half-life of inhaled linalool in the bloodstream is remarkably short, just about 19 minutes, confirming its effect is a rapid, neurological signal, not a lingering drug. And now, let us pull back one last time, from the neurons and brainwaves to the very atoms that make this all possible. The linalool molecule, with its precise structure of 10 carbon atoms, 18 hydrogen atoms, and a single oxygen atom, the calcium in your bones that forms the gates of your neurons, the iron in your blood that carries the oxygen of your breath. Where did these atoms come from? The carbon, the oxygen, the iron, every single atom in your body heavier than hydrogen and helium was forged in the unimaginably hot, high-pressure core of a star that lived and died billions of years ago. A star exploded, scattering these newly made elements across the galaxy like seeds. Over eons, gravity gathered these seeds into a swirling cloud of gas and dust, a nebula which collapsed to form a new star, our Sun and the planets, including our Earth. Those same atoms, the stardust from that ancient explosion, formed the rocky soil of the Mediterranean hills. They were drawn up by the roots of a lavender plant. They were arranged by photosynthesis into the elegant architecture of a linalool molecule. And now, those very same atoms are here, a part of you, a part of the air you breathe, a part of the quiet chemistry of your brain. You are, in the most literal and scientific sense, made of stardust. The universe is not just something you look at, it is something you are. And so, allow the awareness of these vast connections to dissolve into the simple, warm feeling of your body at rest. The great cosmic story becomes the quiet, personal story of your own descent into sleep. Feel the gentle weight of your limbs, a comfortable gravity anchoring you to the earth. The journey of the mind is over. The journey of the body begins. The breath is slow and steady now, a quiet tide. The mind is clear and still, a placid lake under a starry sky. The work of the day is done. The vital work of the night is beginning. You are safe. You are at peace. You are ready for rest. Each breath is an invitation to go deeper into tranquility. Each moment is a step further into stillness. Your body knows the way. The path to deep sleep is open. It is time to rest. It is time to restore. It is time to sleep. Good night.